Everyone wants to get leaner or stronger, but almost nobody knows actually where they're starting from. Hmm, that sounds familiar. Let's start here because this is one that often gets overlooked all of the time. If you were on a road trip and I asked you, hey, where are you going? You'd probably tell me the destination. But if I then asked, where are you starting from? And you said something like, well, I think I'm in the US. Well, good luck, right? You're not going to get anywhere accurate because you don't know where you're at. And that's how most people treat their nutrition and their training and their recovery and everything else. They know where they want to be. I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to gain, put on muscle mass. I want to gain some size, whatever it might be. But they have no real sense of where they are right now. And that is the tricky part, right? We need to know where we're at before we actually start going to the places that we want to go. So here's the thing, knowing where you're at, yeah, this isn't emotional, it's informational. So it's not about shame or guilt or anything like that. It's about data. If you're trying to gain muscle, then you got to know that your current maintenance calories and what they are. That's your true north. And if you're trying to maybe cut body fat, the same logic applies. You need to know where your starting point is in order to be able to manipulate where you want to go because you can't manipulate something that you haven't measured. So you may be shocked how many people are out there eating healthy but still not progressing because they're underestimating their intake or maybe overestimating their output. And I've seen this all the time with athletes who are either thinking that they're in a calorie deficit, but they're actually eating at maintenance or maybe even in a slight surplus. Now, on the flip side, however, I've seen people trying to bulk or gain muscle mass and they're barely eating over their calorie maintenance levels. So their strength improves, sure, yeah, but the scale, it never moves. You stay in the same weight, Blueprint community. We got to be better than that, right? So for my fellow YouTube watching people of our former athlete society, tracking isn't about being neurotic. It's about being intentional. It's about logging your food for a week. It's about weighing yourself, maybe daily or every week or every 2 weeks, averaging it out and understanding what your maintenance looks like. Because then, and only then, can you make informed adjustments instead of just emotional guesses, right? That's the key. That's the one insight where so many people go wrong. It's where you are right now, right? And that turns into frustration. And it, again, by knowing where you're at, it turns frustration into feedback. It gives you some control, right? And if there's one thing that former athletes crave, trust me, after sport, it's that sense of control again. You used to be structured. Yeah, sure. Practice times, weights times, when to show up, team meals, when the flight is, sure, all those things. Now it's up to you. So the more that you can define where you're starting at, the easier it is to create a plan that you actually want to follow. That's the key.